All right, y'all. Early live, early morning live. Should sound getting out of off the grind, man. I was watching some embedded and some countdown. There's some stuff I just wanted to talk about leading up to this fight again. Talk about this fight till it happens, right? Second, on the go. I haven't done one of these in a minute, so yeah, man. I ain't did one of these in a minute, yo. That be just sound wild. Hey man, I'm off the grind right now, man. My hours are weird. You just don't know. I keep weird hours, BJ. Man, I keep these weird hours. So I jump on. I be jumping on here like it's 6 in the morning every now and then. So I said, let me go ahead and do this, man. I was watching UFC Countdown. I said, let me get back on here and talk, man, because I was listening to Henry Cejudo, and it's like you were talking about today, BJ, in your live stream, man. Like, some people, they already feel some type of way about Zhang Wei and Henry Cejudo, linking up. But it's like you were saying today, man, iron sharpens iron, and I feel the same way, man. It's like, come on, these champions like him, like himself, they know what she's gone through, right? They know what she's gone through before, and he's gonna be real with it, right? He ain't gonna hold no punches. He's gonna be straight up, like, hey, if you made this mistake, this it's on you. It's your fault. You can make all the excuses you want. And that's what I want to talk about, man, because I caught that part too in the part where they were watching the fight. They were watching they were going back and watching the knockout, and he was like, "Yo, you got caught. You got caught." He's like, "There's nothing else you can say. You just got caught." And hey, no excuses. That's the Even if you do make excuses, that's the point I wanted to talk about. If you want to say it was this, it was that, it was the crowd, or it was jet lag, it still all comes down to you. You know what I mean? It still comes down to you. Like anytime you say I, you know what that means. When it comes down to it, and you wind up losing, it's still going to be I. Like people aren't going to take into consideration that, oh man, like yeah, it was the crowd. Let's blame all 10, 20,000 people in attendance. We're gonna let them hold the weight of that. The fighter doesn't have to hold the weight of it, right? Or we're gonna blame jet lag or something like that. No, man, like you can't do that. Like you can have those excuses, like yeah, they can affect you, but it's on you to make sure your body can adjust to whatever it is that night. Like if there's other outside influences, like outside influences don't necessarily mean like, oh, um, or it doesn't even have anything to do with like a rough weight cut, right? It could be other stuff like people have death in the family. A death in the family before a fight can affect you. But if you're still locked on the fight, it's on your mentality, the mentality that you have, and the character, that characteristic about you to get in there and fight. You have to overcome it somehow, right? And that's all I think Henry Cejudo was trying to tell her. Like, it's a good thing that she has that. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's a positive. I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. Some people say, oh, Henry Cejudo, he can't teach her this, he can't teach her that. But what do we know, right? We're not in the camp. Like, she says it's helping her out, it's working for her. So why not? Be just say, yeah, third shift life, man. Yeah. Uh, yeah, facts. Definitely, man. Liz, what's up? She said she waiting for a trilogy. Okay, waiting for the trilogy. And you know it's going to spawn the trilogy if Whaley comes through. But yeah, like I'm saying, I like how he delivered that to her. You know, he went on and told her that, look, we get caught, Whaley. Like, you got caught. Just accept the fact that you get caught. We get caught sometimes in life, and it's time to say, okay, we start now, right? Because, okay, again, going back to getting caught, okay, yeah, let's say the booze did get to you, but you still got caught. Or what if it was just the fact that you were 100% prepared and your hands were down and you got caught? The same thing. It's the same thing. You would just, it's always going to come down to you being the one to blame because you let something disrupt you, like bad habits. You know, bad habits could disrupt you. Like I said, hands down, or the crowd. It's the same thing. It's all coming back to you. It's all on you. So that's my thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you need that in your corner. You need somebody that's not going to be a yes man, right, BJ? Like you were talking about that today. Just the fact that iron sharpens iron. And, you know, you got to be around people who don't make excuses. Like Henry's not the type to make that excuse. What did he do whenever Demetrius Johnson beat him? You know, he took a couple of fights in between, but um, he came back and avenged that loss, right? And I think with him in the camp, she needs somebody like that that's gonna put it in their face right now because it's only been what 7 months, 6 months to prepare for this fight. I mean since the last fight, you know, and only a few months in between to prepare. So she needs somebody right now that's going to be in her face to say, "Hey, you know, no more excuses. You messed up, and what are we going to do to correct that?" So that's where you go from there. And as far as them watching, you know, the film, of course they don't show us everything on the countdown, but what they wanted to show us is some of the same things I've been talking about. Like when they watched the fight, they watched the Rose fight, and he was kind of talking about the leg kicks. You know, he was like, you see, like I think it was him that said it, like mentioned the redness of her leg. Somebody did, like, because I noticed that too. But he was like, you could already see Rose's leg turning red from the amount of kicks she was taking on the inner thigh, right? And he brought that up. That look, these leg kicks are working. He said leg kicks and wrestling is going to be a big factor in this fight. So again, yeah, definitely. Like, but I think we all knew that because that was in my keys to victory. Like, you got to chop the leg down and get on the inside of Rose. But the fact that you stay on the outside too long is, I think, the only thing she has to crack. That's the bad habit. Like, you go back and look at the Joanna fight, and you look at the Rose fight. She want to start and try to strike with the long fighter. You know, you can't do that. You can't strike with the longer fighter than you because that's how they get off their shots. So get them on the inside, which is what they've been working on, is key. Once you start fighting in the pocket with Rose, that's where you get what you want, the wrestling, the takedowns and the dog fight. You get that dog fight. Roller says she has no excuse now, no jet lag. We all know she got booed. She 100% on now. Right. Yeah, well, fight night, we got to see it now. We have to see it. Like I said, uh, I'm the same way like he is. Like, I understand everything that led up to the fight, like what was said shouldn't have been said, but I'm definitely not a yes man when it comes to fighting. Like over here, like I respect fighters, but if you mess up, I'm gonna say it. I'm like, hey, well, this is something you need to work on. Like your defense wasn't the best, so you need to step up on this. Like even with Wei Lee, like yeah, you can't be spending time on the outside. Same way Henry Cejudo was saying, like leg kicks, you got to get on the inside. Like he's showing her those drills. You got to get down, use those feints, and close it early. Somebody made a good point the other day. Like Rose is a very very strong and 100% in the first couple of rounds, and that is a good point because those 2 rounds she is going to be on her game. Like her footwork is going to be on point. Her jab is going to be on point. but you have to make sure that you can offset that rhythm. Like if you give Rose the middle and you give her a chance to zigzag and use that lateral movement and comfortably get into into her mode where she can just box you, you might as well say you lost the first couple rounds, right? But it has to be on Wei Lee this time around to keep her hands up and be more herky jerky to get on the inside and work leg kicks early and have a variety of striking, not just focus on the inner thigh, but go up the inner thigh every now and then. And when Rose steps in, you have to bait her in and then land the jab like she did in the first few seconds, right? So again, all going back to Henry Cejudo, I think he has a good game plan for her. Of course, they're not going to give away everything, but something else he touched on the film study they were doing was that Wei Lee and her team, even before Henry Cejudo was there, that they should have touched on was like, why are you fighting him from the outside? Why are you? Because he was like, you out here. Henry was like, you out here. He was like, you don't need to be here. He was letting the other guy like show him how she was standing, at range and how she was going to eat shots, right? So he was like, you need to be like Jessica Andrade. They were playing the Andrade fight in the background. And again, that's a good example. Like Andrade, we talk about her being one dimensional, but she was in the right place to fight Rose. Like she was on the inside. No, you don't punch from the outside. You punch on the inside. One thing about Wei Lee is Wei Lee got those arms. She got shorter arms and she's got biceps. All fighters, I won't say the majority of fighters with those type of arms, they're good at throwing hooks. Like those are good fighters that they're hookers. I was say it like that, but yeah, you're a hooker, right? You can throw good hooks on the inside. So uppercuts and hooks. So the point he made was good. Like you have to step into that range, step on the inside of that range, close that distance, and punch and strike on the inside. So he's showing us some good advice. He's showing some good advice. Hey, I'm not just saying because I said that too, my video, but he telling her straight up what she needs to do. BJ, hold on. Roller said, I like her attitude now more than ever. To be honest, fighting game isn't to be friends. It's to be nasty and kill your opponent. Listening to a better media interview, she got it. Yeah, I gotta look back. I gotta look back at that one interview. There's one interview where she was talking about not being friends anymore, and I like that too because I said that in my other video. I was like, I agree with her saying martial arts is like a place for people to get together, but I ain't trying to be friends with nobody. Like if we do, so be it. But you got to remember, like the person that you're trying to be friends with and compete with, they're trying to take food out of your mouth when it comes down to it, right? They're trying to take your ranking. They're trying to take your belt. Like if we can be friends just for some odd reason, like I would be friends with somebody in another weight class. Like if I'm a featherweight, let me say I'm a featherweight, I'll definitely be friends with somebody that's like a light heavyweight or middleweight because I ain't gonna never touch that division, right? I ain't never gonna be in that division. So, but if I'm in a division with another featherweight, like it is hard to build a bond or friendship with that person because eventually we are gonna fight. Like he's gonna want more money than me by beating me, or he's gonna want my belt to be better than me by beating me. So yeah, like I like that mindset now. Like forget the friendship thing, forget all that. Like make goals. Like don't force something that ain't gonna happen. Like it just don't work like that. BJ said Cejudo is a great person to learn from. Accolades. Yeah. Like it's like they say, man. Like I remember in school, a teacher used to say, if you want to learn how to play tennis, surround yourself with the best tennis players. If you want to be the best tennis player, surround yourself around the best tennis players. And he was basically saying that's with anything. Like if you want to be the best at somebody, you make sure you're around the best. So as a champion or former champion that wants to be champion again, you be around somebody who has touched gold, has faced defeat, and got gold back or avenge their loss or redeem themselves. You surround yourself by that type of person, right? By those type of people. And what better way to do that? Like, she's okay, thinking, okay, we're gonna come here. Uh, Henry Cejudo extended a, invite to us. This just adds up. It's the perfect timing, right? So you take advantage of that. Not too many people did that, right? So yeah, BJ said, yeah, he's a pocket fighter, right? Fight your way in, but your body's designed to, right? Her body's like Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? Like, well, not like Mike, you know what I mean? But like, it's like Andrade, just compact, it's stocky. Stop fighting on the outside. Like, I did like you too, BJ. I went back and watched the Joanna fight again, and I was like, what are you doing these first couple rounds? Like, I had Whaley winning like a couple of times, but when you go back and look at it, you can see like I can understand where some people thought Joanna won. I had it a draw once. I had Joanna winning once. I had Whaley winning twice. But the more and more you go back and look, you be like, yo, Whaley, get on the inside. You're stronger. You're stronger there. You're like, your hooks are powerful. So I think Henry Cejudo is a good thing because yeah, he's going to teach her how to use that body. He's same size as her, right? Just about, same height. And he knows how to get the best out of your body. And that's what she needs because striking on the outside ain't for her. It's got to be in the pocket fighting. Robot chicken said, "Robot gonna die." Dang. This time around it's gonna be a competitive fight. Yeah, yeah, Ben, I think so. It's gonna be a good competitive fight, I think, this time because I think that Rose, she's not gonna depend on the same mistake. She's not gonna be looking for the same mistake. Is what I'm trying to say. She's definitely gonna have all eyes and ears open the first two rounds. Because that's what she does. Like first couple rounds, she's sharp. But yeah, when she get down to the third, sometimes she like Rose can get a little bit out of off focus sometimes. Hang on one second. Yeah, so let's see. Rose said the longer it goes, the more I favor Whaley. I do too. Any fight where you're dealing with like Andrade, these high pace athletic fighters that love pressure, it favors them. It favors them. If you look at Andrade, Whaley, even Joanna, they're built for like 5 round fights. They're built for that. Unless of course anybody gets caught, then it's like, okay, you got caught. Um, Rose Joanna rematch, that fight was very competitive. After it went past the second and third round, Rose started to slow down in that fight. She stayed sharp though with her punches. She was doing more damage on Joanna, but it started to become a little bit more competitive at times because Joanna started ripping her lead leg up and Rose became stationary, right? Thing is, Joanna's not a power puncher, so she just hung in there because she took a lot of hits. Rose is a harder hitter in that fight, so she was able to piece Joanna up, right? So it became competitive though when you went down into the trenches. So that leaves a much that leaves the fighter that's very high paced and has conditioning and is built for it, has the stamina, and has the cardio that starts to favor them more. And then when you go back and look at the rematch with Jessica Andrade, ooh, if that was a 5 round fight, I know I don't really do ifs too much, but if that was a 5 round fight, Andrade would have had the upper hand down the stretch around 4 or 5, right? Uh, and Wei Lee, again, She's somebody that went down in the trenches with Joanna, took some of Joanna's best kicks down into the fourth and fifth round. Um, those type of fighters with that type of strength and conditioning, they get stronger. That's why I like strong fighters instead of just power punchers. You know, a strong fighter is built to last. You know, Andrade is built to last. You know, she's a strong fighter. Joanna's a strong fighter. Um, thing I'm getting a little worried about in this fight is Rose is getting strong. Like, you know, Rose has been putting on a little bit muscle. I don't know if that's really going to be like takeaway though. You know, I don't know if it'll slow her down, but looking at her in training and looking at her in the first fight, she did kind of just look than bigger than Wei Lee. You know what I mean? Like just like longer and taller, and at the same time, just kind of look, you know, just had some size to her. But as of lately, I've been seeing Rose putting on a little bit more muscle too, you know, in the arms and stuff. You know, I guess from like she said, farming and lifting and everything. So a lot of that natural strength is gonna be a factor in this fight. You know, girls like Miranda Maverick and Jessica Andrade, they come from the farming background. That's where they get a lot of their natural physical strength from. So that is a benefit. You know, the lifting of the buckets. I mean, logs and things like that. People don't understand farm strength is real, you know, because that's a part of your everyday life. And if Rose is able to use that to her advantage throughout these past few months of just doing that, it could be a factor in this fight, you know, as far as her newfound strength, you know. But I still think Wei Lee is like just a physical fighter. You know, she's made for that. That's always been her style. Even when she ground out Tisha Torres and Jessica Aguilar, and you know, even some of her earlier fights. You know, before she got to the UFC, she was always been kind of that grinder. Um, Rose has had trouble with that type of style. You know, she's never been like a strong core strength type of fighter. You know, she doesn't have that midsection for it. You know, when the going gets tough on the inside, it kind of overwhelms her. You know, like Carolina Kobakevich, go back and look at that fight a little bit. Tisha Torres, um, they all kind of gave her that rough, rugged style, you know. And if Whaley can, like I said, if she can stay in there and get past this, then it's going to be an ugly fight. It's going to be ugly. Again, you know, it's 5 rounds, anything can happen. But if Whaley stays on the inside, it'll be interesting now. It's going to be interesting. Rolly said the longer it goes, I think, yeah, because I think Whaley's momentum goes up, or either that it stays the same, it never fades. Roller said, I know the last fight lasted a minute, but why won't we analyze that minute? Because Whaley was executing a good game plan with leg kicks with no checks from Rose. I've analyzed it yesterday. I mean, I don't know if you're new to the channel, but um, yeah, you might have missed you probably missed my live stream Tuesday, and I broke that down. I broke it down that what she was doing was effective, but it was time to go on the inside. Like executing leg kicks, yeah, fine, but she stayed on the outside too long. That's the part. Like I gave credit, but at the same time I had to take away because you had you have to close the distance, even if it is the first round and the feel out round. Go back and listen to my live stream yesterday. I played the fight and I broke it down. I was like, good job, nice leg kicks, but you're spending too much time on the outside because all that time you landing leg kicks, you aren't really making Rose uncomfortable. You understand? Like, yeah, you can land these leg kicks and yeah, you can chew it up a little bit, but at the same time, Rose knows that she's not stepping in after. She's going right back to the outside where Rose can extend her power shot, right? So Rose was getting comfortable. Yeah, you were hitting her lead leg, but Rose was getting comfortable. Rose was just staying in the midst, staying in the center of the octagon, stepping side to side, lateral movement, popped off a couple of jabs, and she said, okay, she's going to keep hitting my lead leg from the outside. All right, that's fine. Cool. Do that. You still in my range. Feint, boom, got caught. Simple, right? So I give her credit for landing the leg kicks, but it was time to close the distance. After about two or three of them, it's time to follow. It's time to step in with the overhand right. You know, don't leg kick and step out. Leg kick, step out. you in the range of Rose's punches. You in the range of Rose's um leg kicks. Same as when she fought Joanna. Like, you got to start closing the distance on these tall fighters. You can't do that. Like, yeah, it looked good for about a minute or so, but doing everything else wrong there. So she can do the leg kicks, like Henry Cejudo say. Leg kicks are a factor, but you got to use your wrestling. You got to get your wrestling in there early. Like he said, leg kicks and wrestling. He didn't say leg kicks and step back outside and fight at a range. No. So yeah. You go back and look at the live stream. Like I said, if you're new here, yeah, go back and look at the live stream. We talked about that, and I was just like, yo, these are good leg kicks, yeah, for sure. But after each leg kick, you step back outside. That's not going to favor you. That's going to favor Rose, because you're the shorter fighter and she's the longer fighter, and boom, you know, that that's just how that's how it's going to fall into play. Like, if you look at Andrade got pieced up early in the first round, but Andrade continued to butcher the leg and butcher the body till eventually she could get her target to be stationary, right? Like, she worked everything. She worked the midsection, she worked the body, got in a few right hands up top till eventually her target was stationary, right? So for Wei Lee, you're gonna be dealing with a mover. You're gonna be dealing with a mover from the jump. So you got to start faster. Like, not reckless, but you got to start fast. That's why people get mixed up. When I say starting fast, that doesn't mean reckless, right? That means you just got to have a game plan that's in attack mode in the first round. Like, I ain't saying be reckless. I'm just saying start fast. You have to have a plan that's designed for a long striker. You get that plan for the long striker, start with the leg kicks, get them stationary, close the distance, start roughing them up, disrupt their rhythm, take away their footwork, and you do that every single round. You got to be built for that every single round until you can stop them. 22 Hayes, triple two Hayes said Rose already had welts on her stomach and legs. Yeah, like um her Rose loses power from body shots. Roller said, I wonder how body shots work. Body shots work good. Go back and look at Karolina Kowalkiewicz fight. I'm gonna say Carolina. I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Yeah. Carolina hurt her to the body. Carolina hurt Rose to the body. Um, Jessica Andrade got in some body work. Jessica Andrade got in some body work. Who else? Who else? Can't remember if Tisha did. But yeah, body work is definitely effective on Rose. I mean, yeah, anytime you're dealing with a mover and a boxer, yeah, take away their legs by going to the body. Body shots work, believe me. Um, but yeah, I was just looking at some of the clips of Rose too, like looking at how she's throwing her shots. Yeah, she's definitely got to be careful of Rose's accuracy. Rose got accurate shots though, and that's what saves her from the dog fights. She gets off the precision early, and if you can't take the precision, then she can steady piece you up in the first couple rounds. So somebody like Wei Lee has to be on it the first two rounds. Because again, like I said, somebody made a good point the other day that, after the third round, Rose can kind of falter, but the first two, she's very, 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 very dangerous. Very dangerous. She can work it. She can work it with that type of movement. And it kind of throws fighters off if you're not used to that type of rhythm and that type of boxing. There was a part in the first fight, where Rose kind of threw her hands like this little faint gesture, and then Wei Lee kind of mimicked it. She mimicked it, and that's what your opponent wants you to do. Like, Rose wanted her to do that, to kind of get into her head and kind of play with her, and it worked. Like, I've seen other fighters do that even in boxing. They kind of throw the little feint, and you drop your hands like them, and then they know that they know they can kind of get into your head and play with you, and then they land something big. So it's all about just fighting your fight, man. Like, just got to fight your fight. But like I said, I just want to get on here this morning because I was just going back and looking at the countdown, and listening to Henry Cejudo and his connection. Like I said, this is just the filming that they do. I'm sure they do more, way more, but off of the things he was saying to her, I definitely respect that. That he's really taking the time to work with her the way he is. There's a lot of interesting things going on in the camp. If you just look at how he's kind of taking her under his wing, and he's saying it's time to get our belt back. He's really, really trying to. He's really, really trying to get her to understand that you can come back from this as long as you accept defeat. You know, um, you got to accept defeat. You got to accept defeat. You got to. You got to. I mean, you always if you think that you can make all the excuses in the world. That's why I'm hard on it, because it's like you can make all the excuses in the world, but when it comes down to it, there's still going to be an L by your name when you go to SureDog, or there's going to be an L when you go to your name on Tapology. You know what I mean? If you go to Wikipedia, there's still going to be that L there. It's not going to say L via jet lag or L via crowd. It's going to say L via head kick, right? It's always going to say that. That's why I'm saying, like, you just got to accept it. Like, it may have came because, yeah, your mind wasn't there, but again, you're the blame. You are the blame. So you have to get over yourself when it comes down to, oh, I shouldn't have to deal with it this way. A fight should be under discipline and controlled terms. No, man, like, fight game is hard. It's a warrior thing. When that crowd starts getting on you, you got to own them. You got to own them. You got to own the crowd. You can't be like, oh man, the crowd's against me. No, crowd, you got to work them. You got to work them. Mike Tyson used to do that. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson used to beat his opponents before he got to the ring. Muhammad Ali was the same way. He beat his opponents before they got to the ring. Floyd Mayweather beat his opponents before they got to the ring. Valentina Shevchenko, same way. Beats her opponents before they get to the ring. She owns everything. That's got to be the mindset. Not even when you're in new territories. You know what I mean? You go to a new territory, new state, whatever. It's always going to be the same. You know what I mean? And yeah, yeah. Whaley needs to move sideways so Rose gets confused. Yeah, yeah. Roller said, "Have you made your pick yet?" I haven't made my pick yet. I'm gonna probably post my pick. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday morning already here. I'll probably post my pick later today, if not Friday. Yeah, if I have time. I just kind of been going back and looking at a little bit of work from both of the fighters and mentality. Like I said, it's just a pick, right? But I get caught up in it sometimes. I just like to watch the fights and analyze. But yeah, I'll probably have my pickup, within. I'll have it up by before Saturday for sure. Liz said Whaley needs to move sideways so Rose get confused. Yeah, like, can't be in and out. Like, when you in and out, you're still in the range of the straight punch. You know what I mean? You can't be in and out. You have to be side to side. You start moving side to side on her, it might confuse her a little bit. Like, she's like, okay, she is coming with something new, moving in a circle, kind of like Carla does. Uh 222 said Whaley did not say she lost because of jet lag. She said jet lag was hard to overcome, so they started camp ahead of schedule. Yeah, I stuff like that. Like I said, I wouldn't even really bring up. You know what I mean? Because people gonna start assuming things, or they're gonna think you're looking for sympathy. Like, to us, that doesn't really have anything. That holds no weight at this point. It's just like, let's go, let's go. It's done. Last time out, okay. This happened. Might got a little cold or something from the weather change, but it's like, all right, I'm good. We going back to work. You know, you got to fight through it. Uh, I know that was just a mention in there. That's why I'm just kind of like, I'm sure a lot of people get it. So it's like, let's just go ahead and do it. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao got off the plane in his last fight. I mean, that was his last fight and he lost. But I mean, as soon as he got off the plane, he started hitting the trail. You know, they started running. You know, he made some excuses too, I know, but it's just like when you get off the plane, hey, you get right to it. That's what you want to do. Yeah, BJ said smash the like button this morning for sure. Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to jump on here and talk to y'all a little bit because accepting defeat is important, man. Like it's important. In this case, I think she definitely will grow from it, and I expect to see a good tough fight this time because I think having Henry Cejudo is a good way to have it reiterate over and over that the loss is more of an opportunity. Like he said, right? He said the loss is an opportunity. You can't look at it as like the end. It's an opportunity, and this is a time to see what type of person you really are, right? You got to see if this is really you. You know, the fight game, is it really for you? And can you can you show this other level? Like, can you really become not necessarily a new person because you don't want to say, "Oh, I'm a new fighter or just a totally different person." You kind of want to wear those scars, you know. Everybody wants to improve as a fighter, but or even as a person, but I don't want to be like a new person, like a totally new person, like and forget everything else I've been through. I just want to say, okay, well, I'm gonna wear those, I'm gonna wear all that as scars, right? So that's how it is, though. Robot Chicken said Whaley just needs to do the butterfly dance to throw Scrub Rose off and hit her with a cross and KO. Whaley says she sees the lost as a treasure because she learned more about herself in fighting. Yeah, well, that's good. That's good that she did, because it is. That's exactly what it is. I mean, her first loss should be seen as a treasure. You know, you go in there and you train hard for your very first professional fight, and then you lost, and you be like, dang, you think it might be over already for you. You know, Chris Cyborg, I've been mentioning that a lot. You know, Chris Cyborg lost her first fight, right? Lost her very first fight. Could have ended it right there and said, well, fighting ain't for me. But you come back. Chris Cyborg got knocked out by Amanda Nunes, could have ended it there and said, oh, I guess I ain't for me. I got beat by, the GOAT. And, well, she is the GOAT, after beating me. Well, then what? So it's just, it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. And I like the combination. Like I said, I like this combination. Hopefully, from what I'm seeing, the chemistry is there. He's kind of been helping her with her English too, and it seems to be translating through fine. I mean, what do y'all think? Like from what I'm seeing, it looks like Henry Cejudo is getting through to her. You know, she said that he's kind of helping her adjust and um, find her range and everything. You know, he knows how to find her range and kind of make adjustments with her wrestling now. So, and my thing too is still like I still feel like maybe her wrestling even pre Henry Cejudo probably would have been effective on Rose. We just never got to see it, right? We just never got to see it. So it probably still was going to be effective, but it might even be more so effective now that she has some pointers from him. Yeah, BJ said great listen this morning. Appreciate it, man. And I think you about to head out for work this morning. Hey, I'm just getting back. It's that it's that graveyard shift life, that vamp life. Vamp vampire. The vampire life. So we keep odd hours, man. Keep odd hours around here. BJ said I was wilding early. I said, yeah, man, I'm getting on this. I'm about to talk it up because I was up here watching. I said, uh-oh. I said, let me go ahead and check this out. Because I already watched it. I already watched the countdown, and I was looking at a couple of the interviews too, you know. And I said, let me jump back on here because they are very very. And this is the type of stuff I say I like. I like when fighters more low key here and keep you guessing. You gotta kind of read them a little bit more. Like I don't really listen to trash talk. I just be like, okay, whatever. Uh-oh. I see. Yeah, yeah. B said, hey, heading out now. He said he gotta get it. Yeah, gotta get it right before you get to work. Okay. I ain't been hitting this thing up. Hold on. Sorry, I haven't been hitting the chat here. Liz said Dana White's favorite is Whaley because of the China massive market. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. They bring mad. They bring mad cash. They bring in mad cash. That's why Carl ain't getting it. 227. Did you see a trilogy? Do you see a trilogy? I do. I possibly see a trilogy. I do. Especially if this does like numbers. If this one does numbers on the pay-per-view scale with Usman and Covington, I could see this being a trilogy. And then, oh, you know what happens if this is a trilogy? Rose might have to wind up fighting Joanna or Marina Rodriguez, man. I mean, it ain't funny, but it is funny because it'd be like if Dana sees this go cha-ching, Rose, hey, if he see this thing do big numbers, if this thing do some big numbers, and he like, oh wow, ooh, look at them numbers there. He's like, Carla, who? you know, he'd be like, Carla, who? Ooh, we gotta get a little bit more of this. So yeah, yeah, I see a trilogy. Like Rose, I ain't gonna lie. Look, Rose, not Rose, but Rose fans and everybody, they do want to see her win so they could get the Carla fight and the Rose fight. And believe me, I would love to see that fight again. But if a trilogy happens, so be it. I mean, and if this fight turns out to be like a barn burner, that would be crazy because then everybody would want to see the third fight. Like I still want to see a third Rose and Andrade fight. I still want to see a third fight there. But yeah, there probably would be a third fight. I could see it because money talks. Money talks, and from the way he was talking about Carla, like wanting to sit back and play the waiting game, he would make her wait again. Zama said, "I don't believe in any wrestling at grappling success. I don't believe in any wrestling or grappling success for Zhang. I do." Robot Chicken says it was a flash KO. I'm not worried at all. Roller said her top game is the most vicious in the whole WMMA. Where they got those elbows. Robot Chicken said Carla should go to PFL. He said Robot Chicken she should go to PFL. That's wrong, man. You didn't even say Invicta. You said PFL. Come on, man. She ain't built for nothing in PFL, man. Come on, she'd be better off going to ONE FC as an atom weight than PFL. No, but really, really, I do see maybe like a trilogy happening though. That would be it would be like and it would be something awful. I mean, if it was 1-1, it would be a good as long as it's a good fight. Let me put it that way. It's going to be 1-1. And if the second fight turns out to be good, I would be fine with it. Like if it turned out to be something crazy dramatic and Whaley score like a big KO this time around, I'm fine with the third fight. I mean, the strawweight division has good fights anyway. And we've been going to bat for Carla saying she needs to do this and she needs to do that. But like if it happens again where she doesn't get it, there's nobody to blame again. What am I always just saying in this video? Accountability. It's all your fault. Well, I won't say it's all her fault because it's not all Carla's fault, like 100%. Like part of it is because you're not getting it back, and you're not putting yourself out there enough to get it. But the other part of it is the fact that it's politics. You know what I mean? Like she can't compete with that China market. So China market is definitely going to win, and that ain't completely her fault because they can go by the rankings if they want to. They could have went by the rankings and gave her this fight because Robert Whitaker, he didn't get an immediate rematch against Israel Adesanya. I mean, he's not even getting one right now, right? He still had to fight what 3, 4 fights. So it's not really Carla's fault. So I won't say that. I mean, to a certain extent, yes. Right. BJ, yeah, Carla ain't never seen 150 pounds, man. Unless it was on a weight in front of her, you know. Efrain said, I think Rose is in big trouble in this one. Whaley is gonna chop her down and take the belt back to China. If it would be crazy, it's gonna be crazy. I'm ready. I'm ready for a good fight, y'all. I am ready for a good fight. Only women's fight on this card, but I'm ready. You know, I'm ready for it. I'll be on here a few more minutes. Zhang said wrestling strategy is a mistake for Zhang, in my opinion. I think all this talk about wrestling is a bluff. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a mistake because I think that's what she needed the first time. You know, striking from the outside, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Um, Clinch control, wrestling Rose to the cage, clinch control time, even if it's boring. You know, trying to get in those kicks to the knees to the body. Any way you can control Rose and smother her attack, come on. You know, that's not a mistake. Any way you can take away the reach of Rose and her attack is not a mistake. Again, this was part of her plan the first time, and it should have worked out that way if they had better defense. You don't stay on the outside. You don't stay on the outside with a long rangey fighter. So wrestling, much like what Carla did, is how you take care of somebody with long, tall striking. The wrestling should, I'm sure that was part of a key the first time. Like it can't be a bluff. Like if it is, then you're setting yourself up for failure again. Rose is okay on the ground. Like Rose is okay on the ground. I think Rose's jujitsu is good on the ground, but as far as her overall like takedowns and just like her own wrestling, it's okay. But it's not. I don't think it's a very effective. I don't think her wrestling is very effective on a physically strong wrestler like Wei Li. Like Wei Li had moments where she was getting almost out wrestled by Tisha at times, but she still overcame that power. Like Tisha's very powerful on the inside. Like that's her thing, and she was able to out wrestle her and grind her out. Rose's whole game plan in this fight is good. It's going to have to be the same. It's going to have to be the same. Don't let her touch you. It's going to have to be a game of keep away. That's how that's how confident I am in her striking and her boxing, more so than some of the other tools against a dog like Whaley. You know what I mean? Like, sure, like I could see her submitting Whaley too. If the fight got down to the ground, but she would really have to be able to be slippery and find that moment whenever Whaley is reckless enough and be able to like grab her arm or get her guard high enough to get a triangle. But sometimes if you go back and look at Whaley, like her positioning in her, it's very awkward, and she's so strong with her top pressure, and her activity makes it hard to just like start to lock in a submission because she's always working elbows. Like she grinds elbows to the head, she grinds elbows to your face. Well, you need a mixture of both of that, Jamin. Like I was saying earlier, like if you just came in, I was just saying earlier, you need you need to fight in the pocket. Like, yeah, you're not gonna wrestle the whole fight. Like you don't want to wrestle and wear yourself out the whole fight, but you definitely want to win rounds. You can win. Look, if you clinch and win a boring round, fine. Look at Jesse Jess, right? If you can do that, that's fine. If you want to win the fight, you do that at times, right? Pick your time to do it. That's how you catch your breath. Like wrestle and then like hold a good clinch position. People don't understand when you're on the inside and you holding like that, if you strong, that's the time to catch your breath. That's the time to kind of catch your breath in there. But if you constantly moving and moving from the outside with a lot of striking, you trying to that's a lot of mental pressure there because you're gonna be worried about counter punches of Rose. You're gonna have to be worried about slipping and dodging and all that. Like that's tiring on a fighter. That's taxing on a fighter. But if you know how to clinch and wrestle in the inside and just hold that clinch control, you can win just by clinch control. And at the same time, you can catch your breath. So it's not as tiring as you think. I mean, as long as you know how to work it and you know how to breathe on the inside. But yeah, striking pressure is a key. Like striking pressure is part of it though. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you got to know how to fight in the pocket though. It's got to be a mixture of both of those things. Because any minute you spend too long even striking with Rose, you might get caught. So BJ said Misha knew how to beat Holly. Yeah, when she got in that fifth round, she finally got it to the ground, right? With Liz Holly and Waterson are stagnated with the Winkle John. Yeah, that gym, it don't seem like that gym is doing too many, dishing out too many champions of W's these days, right? 2227 Hayes said 222 Hayes said Rose is not a strong wrestler. Whaley's power could overwhelm her. Robot Chicken said I agree. Look how Jan took away Sanhagen's reach by closing the distance. Yeah, Yana been gone, right? Yana Kind of Sky had been gone, right? Like I remember I used to see her in that gym a lot. Then I was like, where'd she go? 222 Hayes said, why are people making it seem like Roses could be? Oh no, she ain't. No. Izama said Rose has good upper body takedown defense. Yes. Single double legs, I don't know so much about that either. Wei Lee doesn't have wrestling like that. I think Wei Lee has good wrestling enough to take her down and pin her to the cage where she'll need to, use some rounds to tire her out and work the body. You know, I think her wrestling is raw enough to give her some issues though. Definitely raw and technical enough tech. There's enough technique in there that's going to give her problems. But I'm curious as to see what Rose is going to do this time around. They've been working on their wrestling too. Having Kamara Usman in camp, that's not it's not just a shock. It's not just like entertainment value. People think when they see them walking around together to kind of make one another seem like, oh man, this thing's just all about um, popularity or something. You know what I mean? Like the UFC is just putting them together in the same camp, putting everybody in hit this one team. It's like a suit. You know what I mean? Like it's not that type of thing. Like they are working off of each other. Like she is getting some technique from Kamara Usman too. So it's gonna be interesting, man. Like I think her wrestling is gonna you're gonna see some strengths and improvements there. Hold on, I'm talking. I was looking for something too. Oh man, yeah, yeah. What else though? Like, what else do y'all see interesting about this fight here? Because that was what I really wanted to talk about. That's why I got on here for like about an hour. Henry Cejudo. Um, yeah, Izami. Because I was talking about with Henry Cejudo too. Like, he pulled up the Andrade tape. He pulled up the Andrade footage, and he was showing her like, you don't want to strike here. He's like, you got to be here on the inside. Like, uppercuts and those hooks are going to be very effective. Like that type of pressure. Yeah, striking pressure is a definite, but like you got to really mix it up because even Rose, I think she can figure it out here and there enough to make adjustments to get back on the outside. Remember, don't look away. Don't make sure you don't fall into flying knees either. You know what I mean? Don't get too happy on the inside because I can see Rose throwing some of them flying knees too. Walk right into one, so you got to have all your ground covered. I know Carla do kind of have to. She kind of has to feel some type of way, because it's been like 7 years since she touched the belt, right? And Wei Lee has been what, 7 months? Yeah, Carla 7 years and Wei Lee got 7 months and she got it, right? So I mean, hey, it is what it is now at this point. Like I said, I got about 10, 11 people in here. We just talking, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. As I said, let me get on here. We only got 2 days left. Liz says Sunday, 5 a.m. in Sweden Rose getting smashed. So y'all got it Sunday morning. Yeah. Yeah, I posted a picture where it said Sunday. I was like, wait a minute, Sunday? I was like, did the UFC misprint? But then I thought about it. I was like, it's probably for Europe. So I'm on Eastern time. So Eastern time, I have it at nighttime. So yeah, I gotta watch that and the Caleb Plant and Canelo fight. So yeah, I got some boxing to watch too. So as I would say, she isn't a cage grinder. No, she's a fight. She's a grind. She's definitely a grinder on the ground though. Like my thing is, if she clinches on her feet and wrestles on her feet, she can win those. She can win those. She can win those moments. You win those moments with clinch control. On your feet. But if she gets her to the ground, that's where she's a grinder. That's where she's a grinder, man. Robot Chicken said Carla's style is boring. Her last fight was the most impressive win. Yeah, she looked good in that fight. For you know, yeah, that was her first, dominant win in a long time. She was kind of in that Lauren Murphy phase, where she was on a 5 fight win streak, but there was a lot of close fights there, right? And when you kind of go on like a 5 fight win streak and you keep eking out decisions, it does kind of make you think like, will that person be ready for the champion, right? But I think it would still be a very competitive fight. Like I did my video, I kind of gave her the edge over Whaley just because of that history and just because of that style. But that's just what I was thinking, because I'm looking at all of the things that we've seen and her having more time with Rose and just the improvements that she's made in the past 7 years. Liz said, "What if Whaley loses? If Whaley loses, then it should be Carla. It should be Carla, right? If Whaley loses, it should be Carla. Um, I would actually like to see Marina fight one more time before she get a title shot. Maybe. Like if she can't get the Joanna fight, then yeah. If she can't get the Whaley, if Marina can't get the Joanna fight ever, I'd be like, yeah, maybe she'll get the next title shot or not. Maybe she'll fight one more time and then do it. Because what is she, number 3 now, right? Because Carla's number 2. Carla's number 2. Zhang Weili. Wait, Zhang Weili's number 1. Carla's number 2. Marina's number 3. And then Yan Xiaonan is back at number 4, right? Since Joanna got taken out. I mean, there's a lot of good choices though. Daniel Evers, what's up? He said if Weili loses, there's Carla or Marina. Yeah, there's a lot of choices. Like there's a lot of fighters you could say that are ready. Like Marina's on a 3-0 win streak. Carla's on a 5-0 win streak. So that's 2 right there. Yeah, Joanna's always in the back pocket, right? But she ain't getting it. She don't need it. Zama said, how will she take down Rose from the clinch? She got to switch that level. You switch that level down to the legs, man. You switch that level, same way Jessica Andrade did. You say Wei Lee likes leg trips, but Rose way longer than her will be problematic to pull it off. That's what he's showing her. That's what Henry Cejudo is showing her. She can get it though. From a clinch. From a clinch, I mean, all you got to do for her, if she can pin her, and if she can switch that level to go down to the leg, it's not hard. If she can go down for that single leg, yeah, she got Joanna down. I mean, Joanna, yeah, that's a good example, yeah, of her taking down a fighter. Yeah, as y'all know, Joanna, she bounced right back up because that's Joanna. But yeah, like if she can get her in that position, like from a clinch, she can get her down. Yeah, and I mean, like, if she wants to go straight for the like Andrade approach, it's there. Like, if you clinch her on the cage and you use your head control on Rose and you control one wrist, she can eventually shoot. Not shoot, but she can eventually switch a level and grab one leg and lift Rose and just get her down. You know, but Rose, she can be slick and slippery in there too. So you have to be careful where she don't slide off your, you where she can slide to your back with them positions. Like Rose can be slippery and get to your back. So I think that it can be done though. I think Henry Cejudo is gonna really polish her up to be able to get her down even off a clinch or shooting in for a double leg on Rose. Yeah, Cejudo versus a Whitman strategy. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Very, very, very interesting. For real. I'm ready though. What else? I mean, BJ was talking about Courtney Casey and Roxanne again. Yeah, we talked about it in the live stream the other day. We were talking about that last night. Yeah, Courtney Casey versus Roxanne. That's a good fight. Courtney needs the test to see where she's at, and Roxanne brings all kinds of tests. You know what I mean? Roxanne has all kinds of wins, all kinds of losses, but she has all kinds of skills. Roxanne's been in the game a minute. She hasn't been stopped very many times, but I think once out of her 19 losses. Roxanne's gonna bring the striking. She's gonna bring the jujitsu to Courtney Casey. We're gonna see what Courtney can bring on her level. Like, can Courtney do something that looks like like she's a world beater? That's the question. Like, let me ask you that, BJ. Like Casey O'Neill, Roxanne versus Katie. Yeah, I said, did I say Courtney Casey? Yeah, Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill, like, what is she gonna do like to look like a world beater in this fight? Like, that's my question too, because I'm a little concerned about her. I'm a little concerned about her right now. I know like she could pull off a win, but what is she gonna do to make it look like she's a world beater? Yeah, man. I said Courtney. Yeah. I mean, we got all these cases, man. Courtney Casey's fighting Liana Joju. So yeah, Casey O'Neill. Um, what is she gonna do to look like a world beater in this fight? Like she could get the win, right? She could get the win, but to me, like when you're gonna be fighting a former top 10 contender now, you gotta start to look the part. Like you can't just look like somebody that's gonna keep getting wins and skating by with wins. Like that's what they didn't get what I was saying yesterday in my Tuesday in my live stream. Like I was saying it's about skills because there comes a point where you got to start getting dominant wins off of skills that look ready for the top 10, right? Like Manon Firo, she's got those skills. She may not have the opponents, but the skills that she has, they definitely look polished enough to take on top 10 fighters, right? They look like they're good enough to take on a fighter like Roxanne or Jessica I or Andrea Lee, somebody like that, right? Like they look polished enough like to look like a world beater. But I still think there's some things that, as far as Casey O'Neal's defense and her own striking, that need a little bit more work. So you need to kind of start to see those improvements in a Courtney Casey fight, right? Like when Taylor Santos beat Roxanne, she used that, that superior strength, good right hands, good left hook. She was able to drop Roxy and good top control. Like I wanted to see Taylor Santos knock her out. I wanted to see Taylor Santos go for the finish and be really dominant in that fashion, but Taylor Santos still showed like those world beater skills, right? She knocked her out of the top 10. For Casey, like, yeah, this is her fight. This has to be her fight to be in that zone. I know BJ, you probably getting ready to work, and you probably can't even see your phone right now because of all the fog. I'm gonna just say that. So BJ can't see the phone because all the fog up in there. BJ said just beat her up. Taylor did. Just beat her up. Okay. I mean, you got to make us say like, okay, you got to have something that stands out though, man. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you got to do something, man, where it's making us say, oh man, this person's gonna be a problem for Caitlin Chikagan. This person's gonna do something for Jennifer Maya. No, I understand what you're saying. You got to beat her. Yeah, definitely. Like, I definitely want to see her dominate her for sure. It's Casey O'Neal's time. I almost said it again. Liz said she need to be out of the UFC. 222 Hayes says she's taking Roxy. Okay. I mean, this is a situation where you can't count Roxy out. Like this is definitely not a situation where you can count Roxy out, like for sure. Like um Roxy, when you underestimate Roxy, it's very dangerous. Usually when you do, you wind up losing. Like I think Macy Barber didn't really underestimate her, but she just thought she could knock her out. And then she saw the striking of Roxy. Danny Edwards says sad for Modaffari that she's not fighting Courtney Casey. Yeah. Danny Edwards said Marlon wore himself out. Zama said O'Neal doesn't have firepower like Santos to replicate it. Oh yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. Ravioli said I like Casey's aggression. Yeah. I like her aggression. Like you said, Ravioli, but what Zama said is true too. Like she doesn't have that type of firepower. Like she really doesn't have that type of firepower with her hands. Like she's strong. She's very strong, you know. But that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be very hard to just go in there and wrap up Roxy and clinch with her and not expect Roxy to, be able to score a takedown or use her jab to keep her off of it, right? See, Taylor Santos had a good mix in that fight. Taylor was landing some big shots. Taylor Santos landed big shots on Roxy. She landed some good overhands and a couple of left hooks, like I said, in that last round to drop her. So she had the firepower. When she would rock her and dust her a little bit, she could go in for the clinch and, muscle her and maul her. So there was a good mix there. And that's why I'm getting around that, BJ. Like Courtney Casey for this fight. Dang, Courtney. Casey O'Neal. Casey O'Neal. So yeah, that's why I'm getting at, BJ. For this fight, Casey O'Neal has to mix it up like that. I want to see her be able to mix it up with those type of skills, like hands and clinch control. Because like Zaman said, you don't think she has that firepower to do it. There's got to be the fight to do that. Liz said Casey's on a raise up. She's gonna win. Yeah, she's definitely tough though. Like BJ said, Casey's ruggedness. Yeah, she's tough, man. Like I give her that. Like I like her. I like her. I like her willingness. Yeah, her willingness to fight. She's always fights her fight, no matter what you're trying to do. Yeah, I like the fact that she does stuff like that though. She's very, very tough, and she puts it all together for what she has, and that's why fighters can't, even on the lower level. Like I thought Procopio was going to win, but Procopio got exhausted. You know, Yeah, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, Roxanne did go through them. She do go through them young prospects when they underestimate her. Blinking eyes. Yeah, Zava said Taylor doesn't stop people because she's afraid of MRB fiasco going too hard. Girl has suspect cardio. Mm. Hmm. Mm. I never noticed. I might have to go back and look at that. I I don't know. Like with Taylor, when Taylor fought Jillian Robertson, I thought her cardio was pretty good. Even with Molly McCann, of course, she knows how to fight at a good pace. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Daniel said Casey versus Modafferi is a pure grappling match. Daniel Everson, I think Roxy got stopped on tough too. No, she didn't get stopped. She lost to Sarge. Who else did she lose to? She lost to Sarge. She lost to Nico. None of them stopped her though. She's only got like one stoppage in her career. Hold on, I can go ahead and pull it up here. She got one stoppage loss in her career. Out of her 19 losses, only one stoppage, I think. Hang on, let me see. Because I talk about her record a lot. Talk about Roxy's record a lot. Like people don't want to give her credit, but let me see. Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Yeah, I remember that fight, Barb Honchak. Yeah, because she has a couple. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. She has a couple. Okay, she's Sarah Kaufman slammed her. Dang, dang, that was like 11 years ago. Marlos Conan. Oh yeah, Marlos Conan submitted. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's been submitted a couple of times early in her career. Hell yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that tough house. I was thinking of the flyweight tough house. Yeah, yeah. She got stopped in the yeah, she got stopped in that tough house. I forgot about that one. No, 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 no. You're right. You're right. You're right. Daniel Evans. She got stopped. I remember that one too. Yeah, yeah. Not Rocky Pennington, but the other girl. It was another girl that stopped her. Dang, yeah, that was like 8 years ago. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I can't believe I forgot that fight. Yeah, she got stopped in the second round, Daniel. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. And yeah, Marlos Conan, I remember that fight too. Yeah, she got a lot of fights. That's why it's just like hard to remember because I've been seeing her since like yeah, like 2005 when she first hit the scene, and I remember Barb Honchak. See, that's the one I remember because they fought twice. Yeah, Barb Honchak, they fought twice. Barb Honchak submitted her first, and then she came back and submitted Barb Honchak in that second tough house. Yeah, 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 yeah. She was crying. He said, Daniel Evans said she was crying. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, tough 135 with Tate and Rousey. Yeah, because that's the one with Rocky Pennington, Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, the whole four horsemen were up in there, right? Zama said Meatball and Jillian are too small and unathletic to really push Taylor physically, though. When tried to choke out MRB, she gasped. She looked off in that fight. I don't know, man. Like something looked off in that fight. That Mara Romero Barella fight, I thought that could have went either way, but I could see where Mara Romero Barella won it because Barella was out. Barella was actually out grappling her in that fight, right? And I thought, like Taylor just looked off in it. I'm not really trying to make excuses, but I'm just saying like she looked off like she didn't put her all into that fight. When she was striking with Barella, she was out striking Barella. Barella was actually out grappling her in that fight. Yeah, man, Marlos Conan, man, like she was one of my first fighters I used to watch too. Like, dang, yeah. Ravioli said Taylor probably cuts a lot and has shaky cuts sometimes. I mean, I see her Instagram when she be flexing. She's got big arms, you know. She's big. Liz said tough 135. Rousey Tate was the fight Dana started the female division in the UFC. Yeah. Back when he said he wouldn't sign women and boom, he signed them. Yeah, because I used to be watching like WMMA, all through these other circuits like Strike Force and everything, and like these other tournaments like that Caitlin Young and all them were coming up in, and he would never sign them. Like he was talking about, he would never sign women, and then along comes Ronda Rousey and Tate and their rivalry, and boom, he signs them because he saw like the money they make and the fan base they had. So yeah, but yeah, man, that's all I got on this one. Shoot, I might pop in later on tonight. When I on the go again. Like I said, I'm on the go. I get a little wired, and when I start watching footage and stuff, I kind of want to talk. So I get on here. Zama said Taylor walks around just by eyeballing about 145. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see like 150 something. I mean, when I saw her arms and her legs, I could say probably like in the 150, 145 range too. Yeah. Yeah, Ronda was the reason. Yeah, Robot Chicken. Ronda was the reason. Ronda was the reason for real. Like, Ronda used to get on my nerves, but I mean, like she brought like, you know what I mean? Like I would watch her fights and I was entertained by her fights. But yeah, I can say she was like one of the reasons. Yeah, I think so too. It was probably the Fertitas. The Fertitas. They well, Floyd educated me on that. You know what I mean? Like Floyd and some other people really, really fill me in on that. Like the Fertitas call the shots there. So Dana might say, I'm never going to sign a woman, but if the Fertitta brothers say it, then, it's going to be a go, right? So, yeah, I remember Floyd saying something about that before. So, yeah, the Fertitta brothers, I think so too. They probably were the ones that said, hey, this is money. Sign them. We're going to start, we're going to build this bantamweight division, right? Genesis Green, what's going on? Genesis, I'm on an early morning grind today. I'm about to get up out of here now, though. I was wired. I had to get on here for about an hour. You ever said Ronda thought she was Mike Tyson? Yeah. Um, she wasn't the Mike Tyson of judo, but when she tried to use them hands like Mike Tyson, no, that was not. It was not. It's not the same game. It was not the same game. Like I remember when I started seeing footage of her working her striking, I was like, okay, okay, we getting somewhere. But then when she tried to use her striking against a boxer like Holly Holm, I was like, what's going on? I told everybody that Holly gonna win that one, man. I put that on. I put it on everything. I said, yeah, for sure. There's some fights, like I said, I'm just like, oh no, they're not gonna win that fight. But these fights now, it be tough, man. Like Whaley Rose, first fight, I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna go Whaley. Second fight, I don't know. It's like that tough. Liz said head movement. Yep. Head movement. But yeah, y'all. Let's see. I'll probably do another on the go tonight when I get to moving again when I'm on the go. Ravioli said, I'm I'm still dead, bitch. Said she'd never lose to a white girl and let Rhonda lay her out. It always works like that. When you say stuff, if you want to do something, just do it. Just do it. But when you try to speak crazy stuff into existence, or if you're not really committed to it, you wind up looking like a you wind up looking like a fool. Like if you want to do it, just do it. But like when you say it, ravioli, it's like you you just she didn't even last a round. You know what I mean? Robot Chicken said, "I wish Ronda would have took Mayweather off of the box." No, she wanted to beat Mayweather. She said she could beat him or break his arm or something. You know, she wanna fight him. 222 said he said she got Whaley again. Edmund wasn't lying when he said head movement. He wasn't. Or was he screaming was he screaming for her to move her head, or was he screaming like, hey, we should have worked on was he screaming something they should have worked on? He was like, we forgot to work on head movement. He's like, we forgot to work on head movement. He was like, what is head movement? Liz said, waiting for a fighter who has the same movement like Floyd. Liz said, what about Chinny Ebas? Dang. He said, Chinny Ebas. Well, nobody agrees with me on that. I always say, I'm not trying to be mean. I just think she is a little chinny. Like, Ebas ain't got a glass chin, but she is a little chinny. People don't agree with me on that. But what about Chinny Ebas? What about her? Oh, head movement. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was saying that the other stream the other day. Head movement. That's what you're talking about. She needs head movement. Yeah, Ebos needs head movement. I said that the other day. I was like, yo, like, as a fighter who's not very, she is, she's a fighter that doesn't have a very good chin. You might want to start moving your head. Rose and Whaley could KO Ebos. You can kiss that title goodbye. Yeah, I was about to say Marina could do it, but yeah, Marina already did that. So he was telling her to stop getting blasted. I know I was joking because I was like, "Yo, is he like head movement? Like y'all know what that is?" Yeah, yeah, Robot. I remember it was after the fight. Yeah, after the fight, he was like, "Yeah, I'll reach out to her and help her out." Yeah, I know you do, BJ. You think she a little chinny. Like I said, I'm just being honest. I think she a little chinny. Like people keep saying, getting mad. Like I know you love her, but she a little chinny. I like her. I like her as a fighter. She's good. Not everybody's perfect. Like she's tough. She'll fight anybody. You know, she's got a kill switch, but she's not perfect. Daniel ever said, yeah, especially at 115. I bet you if she moved up to 125, her chin would be better. It could possibly be better. If it's a weight issue, it could possibly be better if she moves up to 125. I've seen that change on some fighters. Jama said, okay, Whaley TKO second half of round 4. Oh, for Rose, he said Rose would KO Ebos under 2 rounds. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if Marina did it in 2, I mean, Rose might do that thing in like 1 or 2 rounds. If Mackenzie Dern's striking was a little bit better, then she probably would have done it. It's a head movement. Rose could KO Ebos on the 2. Tutu said everyone takes Whaley, says third or fourth TKO.
Robot Chicken says she's chinny. Nobody can deny it. Everybody deny it. Oh, he said the audio cut out. Hold on. Audio cut out. Hold on. Did it? Oh, okay. BJ said I'm good. Okay. Verna almost did sleeper. Yeah, Verna almost did sleeper. But she almost let Verna too, with that head kick. E-Boss is an in-betweener. Yeah, I think E-Boss eventually could get to 125. Like, she just gonna have to be ready for grapplers. Tell me, BJ. BJ's the flyweight correspondent. So BJ, do you see Amanda Ebos having success one day at 125? That's a question for the flyweight correspondent. Can Amanda Ebos move up to 125, and can she do it now, or does it have to be does it have to be a progress? Does it have to be like a progress? Liz said, "Do you think Whaley is chinny after the leg kick?" Um, I think it would be psychological. Honestly, I think it would be kind of psychological. Like, if her chin got touched again, I think she might get shaky because it might kind of be like that psyche where you kind of feel like you might crack. But I've seen fighters kind of do that before and say that, like, where they kind of get touched and they just get wobbled because they think that's what they're supposed to do. But like, if she's not feeling that way, I don't think she will be chinny off of one head kick. No, like, that would have to be like an accumulation over the years, because Jessica Andrade, when she got, knocked out by Wei Lee, to me, it didn't really do much to her chin. She took some big shots in the Rose fight, and it didn't really chop away her chin either. So I don't think so. 222 said, I personally don't think so. That was a clean kick to the chin would hurt anybody. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just a clean kick. So I don't think it's really like gonna, chip away at the fighter's chin. Roger, what's going on? Been a minute. Been a minute. BJ said, I think size wise she can, but it's hard hitters and better grapplers. Yeah, yeah. I think it's something she would have to grow into. Mm, 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 mm. Liz said, but it wasn't so hard with the left kick. Yeah, it was just she touched that button. Rose touched that button and it said lights out. You know what I mean? Like, it was like you reaching for the light switch and she just flicked it off. Like, boom. Like, it didn't even have to be that hard. You know what I mean? It was on that sweet spot over there by the neck. Zama said expect gas on them inventory. Sometimes you have your doubts. Genesis, how's y'all's morning going? I am I'm getting off, so I'm a little bit wired this morning though, because I was on my way out and I was just watching some of the countdown, and I said, let me jump on here and talk to y'all for a little bit because I'm still wired. I'm gonna be coming down in a minute though. BJ over here thinking I'm wilding. But I be on here in the morning every now and then on the go. I just ain't got out of here in a minute, but I said, let me jump on here. And then I got to jump right back to it in a few more hours. Yeah, he said lots of work. Yeah, got a lot of work. Yeah, I've been busy, on here, outside doing other stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely starting starting to come down now. So I might be back on later because I'll be wired again. Fight night is 2 days away. I'm ready. I want to see a good fight. I hope both fighters are prepared. um, to put on a good show. Roger said, "Who am I picking?" I'm gonna do my pick tonight or Friday. Not trying to make everybody wait, but I just really, really want to look at it again and just kind of give my pick. You know how I am. Like I made people wait till Saturday for a pick one time. Like not just to do it, but just that's I don't know. Um, who am I picking? Whaley or Rose? You you'll know by tonight when I get back on, or yeah, Friday. Because I'm just looking at what Cejudo's gonna do, and I want to see what he can do or what he has done. And then not, it's not like it's gonna help me. I mean, it's gonna help me make my decision, but it's not like it's gonna help that change when I make my pick, if that makes sense. See, I'm coming down. I ain't making any sense. 222 Hayes said press conference tonight. Is a press conference tonight? Yeah. Zhang said I will lose it. Zhang will spend all fight trying to fight Rose on the outside, trying to pot shot. Better pressure, Carolina style, face first in that. Yeah, you definitely can't do that. I mean, the minute you spin on the outside, you might as well say good night. Like you have to be on the inside. You got to be on the inside in the pocket. That's your if that's where your strength is and your body design. Like I said earlier, you have to be in there. Pressure style, smarter pressure than Carolina to me. For Zhang Wei Li on Rose, go to that body, go to them legs. But if you stay on the outside, like I broke it down yesterday, it's over. Roger said, I think it'll be a really good fight though, but I think Rose will win again. Okay. Yeah, that's all I want. Like somebody was it Liz asked earlier, if Whaley wins and a trilogy happen, would a trilogy happen? I would like a trilogy to happen for real. Like if Whaley pulled it out, I'd win a third fight because these strawweight matchups, I mean, like they make for good fights. I mean, what do y'all think? What do you think, Raj? Like you can match anybody up in the strawweight division, and it's been a good thing, man. Like Whaley, Joanna, Mackenzie Dern versus Marina, Marina versus Ebos, Rose versus Andrade. I want a third fight with them, with her as well. Whaley versus Andrade. They all make for good fights, though. So I think we all going to get a good fight. Nothing's boring about this matchup here. 222 Hayes said Rose with that axe kick. Hit hit Rose with that axe kick. Okay. Zama said too much can crushing did it to Zhang. Low adaptability. Um, I don't think it was that. I think it was just the I don't no. I don't think it was low adaptability. I think it was too comfortable. Too comfortable and yeah, I think it was just too comfortable. Like it wasn't a fluke. I keep saying that to people. It wasn't a fluke when she got knocked out. It was the fact that she was just on the outside and it was a big technical mistake. Like, and the thing is, I don't think it's too much can crushing. There just wasn't enough studying there because if you are on this level, you should be studying. You should be doing your homework on every fighter. You know what I mean? Like, you've got the keys to beat Rose, but the thing is, like, are you doing the homework to execute these keys to beat Rose? Like, when I saw her go, rise to get the belt. I was like, okay, that's why I picked Whaley the first time because I was like, she's got those keys. But it didn't really have anything to do like what I'm saying with like cans or anything like that. Like the fighters, I'm not gonna call any of them cans. Like it was just a different style. Like I do agree with your part where you said low adaptability, but like cans, I can't say she was fighting like cans. You know what I mean? It was just like not on her to adapt. It wasn't in her IQ to adapt in that fight. That's more so it didn't really have anything to do with the past opponents. Daniel ever said, "Wait, you may want to do a Wilder and wear headphones at the press conference." Oh, you crazy? Daniel was crazy. I don't think she'll really understand a lot of that because of the language barrier anyway. So KO's on draw in 42 seconds. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Roger said it seems too much emphasis on things outside of the octagon for Whaley. Too many excuses. I saw combat comment about lag on the countdown. Too much image management. Too much show for image management. Well, it's like I was saying earlier, I'm glad that Henry Cejudo kind of brought her down, you know, broke it down to her that it's not about these other excuses. He said, you got caught. You know what I mean? Like when it came down to it, you got caught. Like Henry Cejudo wasn't hearing no excuses at that point, right? Like when I heard that too, when I heard him say that, I was like, yeah, like no matter what it is, like if you're not saying jet lag was the key to you losing, or if jet lag was a issue in any way, like I wouldn't even bring that up because I'm sure everybody deals with jet lag, right? Like my thing is we going from here. That's it. Like it happened. That's it. Like whether it be like I was saying earlier, Roger, like whether it be the crowd or whether it be because your hands were down, it's still all about you. Like I let the crowd affect me. I had my hands down. I had jet lag or whatever. Like if it was that was a problem. I spent too much time on the outside. Either way, it's still I, right? There's nobody else. It's still I. So yeah, you just can't hear it anymore. Like you just can't no more. Like it's like Henry Cejudo said, no more excuses. Like we get caught sometimes. We got to move forward. A loss is an opportunity, right? A loss is an opportunity. Mm, mm, mm. Zama said, glad that Zong left Sucker Punch. Can't imagine all these top 10, all these top contenders are comfortable with the same management. Yeah, like that's too many in house, man. Like to me, it is. I was like, it's too many in house. You got to juggle Carla, you got to juggle Rose, you got to juggle Zhang Wei Li. 222 said, hey, he said, but it's okay for Rose to make it about race, but Wei Li can't talk about her issues. Yeah, I don't want to hear none of that this time. From even Rose, like I'm just like, yo, you know, let's keep it fight. Let's keep it fight related. You know, for her, I'm like, let's just do this. Let's just make this thing happen because people on the outside don't care what happened. I mean, they care because they want a good fight. But when you get a concussion or you out in a wheelchair, they don't care about your race either no more. Like you can say you want this race back in you, but when it comes down to it, it's like even with let's say a white guy goes in there, he gets knocked out. His white race ain't gonna be paying his medical bills anymore. So it's like, yeah, let's leave all that alone. Like you see so many fighters go blind in the ring. Everybody got your back then, but does your country pay your bills after that? No. So it's like let's just keep it in the octagon about me and you, and let's make this fight happen. Because like I said, when you bring all this outside entities and all of that type of stuff, it ain't nothing. Like that's nothing. It ain't gonna help you when it come down to it. We just gonna fight. We just gonna fight. Like back in the day, like I said, or even like I said, whenever fighters go to the UK and everybody throwing trash at you, soccer fans, calling people this and that, or even like going back to boxing, the UK fans, they talk all this trash and they back up their UK fighter, but when their UK fighter get knocked out, it's like, are y'all still there with him? Or if he really get damaged, are y'all paying his bills together? Are y'all like coming together to help him? That's why I say like, don't keep bringing up this is why I'm backing up now. Don't make it political. Let's just do the fight. Let's just do the fight. Listen, which training facility is good on training UFC fighters? ATT and Winklejohn sucks. One champion. Yeah, you said ATT sucks. Budokan looks good. Like from what I've been seeing and just kind of staying in contact and looking at Tanisha Tennant, they're good. Syndicate seems pretty decent though. Syndicate's been pretty decent. Um, I mean, if you mean for a specific fighter, yeah, that would depend. The team like with Caitlin Chikagian and Aaron Blanchfield, Sarge, Tanisha Tennant, and all of them, they seem to get good work and good vibes off each other. So, Raj said the fight game isn't for the weak minded. It's not. It's not. It definitely ain't. It's not. Oh man, got like 16 people in here. Y'all want to hit the like button? I mean, I'm about to. I gotta get up. I gotta get up. I gotta roll. I'm losing my mind right now. So. Jama said, I like sending chicks. Extreme Couture has solid female team recently, it seems. Yeah. Um, BJ said, look at me still going. I am. I am. I am. I mean, they were bringing up some interesting stuff, so I was just kind of talking again. Every time I try to leave, every time I try to leave. Let me ask you, Roger, what do you think about the last question from me? What do you think about the Roxy versus Roxanne Modaffari versus Casey O'Neill fight? Um, what other fight was I mention? What do you think of Manon Firo? I mean, you ain't really been around in a minute, so what do you think about Manon Firo as a fighter, Roger? Off of what you've seen, you know what I think about her. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of Manon Firo. I like what she does. Uh, I'm sure you heard me talk about her, but yeah, I just wanted to know what you think about her since you're here. Like Manon is on her last fight. She's on her last fight on her contract. But she's about to sign another 4-fight deal that might include the champion, Roger. Like she said, she's not sure if the second contract has the title fight on there yet, but she's thinking that's the move. She's thinking that might be the move. Like it might be on her next 4-fight contract. BJ said Manon is the truth. Oh no, he said O'Neal is the truth. Okay. 222 Hayes said Manon is a beast. Yeah. King Manon Firo. Oh, my bad. He said King Casey. Raj, I think Manon is a good fighter. I don't think she'll pose much problems for Valentina. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like it's gonna take a while. I mean, it's gonna take some fights. I think she'll make it a good fight. Yeah. I want to see a good fight though. I want to see that happen. I really do. Oh man, I'm on 15%. We'll see though, because I'm riding with Manon, man. I like what I see. I think the more and more she grows, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Like out of my triple threat, I'm thinking she's gonna be a very, very tough. I think she'll be a very, very tough fight for Valentina. You don't think she'll pose too much threat? Did I read that right? I don't think she will pose much problems. Oh, you said she don't pose much problems. I don't know. I think she might. I think she might. Like I'm saying might now because I still respect what the champion does, but what I'm seeing now, of course, I need to see it. I need to see her dominate like the top 10 first, right? You know what I mean? Like I got to see her do the same thing Valentina did with common opponents. You know what? Look, it. He said you guys can get me on it. Well, look, if she can do the yeah, if she can do what look, she'll really be a problem if she does what Valentina does to some of her common opponents. Like I said, when she starts doing that, then yeah, I will say, uh-oh. But yeah, I think that she has potential. That's my thing, like is the potential thing here. Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, she's like yeah, of course, yeah, she's fighting the lower tier fighters. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, too soon. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. That's why I was just asking your opinion, what you think. Okay. All right, but yeah, we'll talk more. Like I said, let me not ask anything else so I don't get pulled back in. Um, but Roger gotta say something interesting again. Okay, Valentina makes everyone look bad. That's true. She's like a virus. She infects you and takes away everything. She'll incapacitate you. Not good. King Manon Firo. Liz said Valentina would never win against Amanda. Oh, I really don't want to see that third fight though. I don't. But all right, y'all. Let me get out of here now. You'll probably catch me later on tonight. I got to give y'all my pick. Shout out to everybody in the chat. And yeah, shout out to everybody came through this morning. Good conversation early. Um, Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up too. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out. Like I said, you hit the thumbs up. I keep on doing these. And yeah, guys, 2 more days to UFC 268. Got Usman, got Gaethje. Not giving my pick yet for Rose Whaley. Tricked you. So yeah, guys, let me get up out of here. Roger said Val can stay at flyweight and make 7 figures a fight. She doesn't need a man. Exactly. I'd rather she do that. It's a perfect division to go ahead and stay dominant, Hall of Famer, go for 10 title defenses, go for more, hell, and make big dough. All right, y'all. Peace out, BJ. I am out. Make sure y'all subscribe.